Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Winner Circle. This is your host, June Archer, and today, my guest, born and raised in Oakland, California, he hails from a long line of chefs. As a third generation Azorean-American, he grew up experiencing a plethora of cuisines. His professional experience has included his tenure at San Francisco's French American inspired Fifth Floor, and most recently as a sous chef at Revival Bar and Kitchen in Berkeley. His go-to mantra, I love this, in the kitchen, is strategy will compensate the talent, but the talent will never compensate the strategy. And one of my favorite sayings that I like was on his website. If I wasn't a chef, I wouldn't be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Chef Ronny Miranda. Chef, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I do one small correction. I have not updated my website in quite some time. I know it's sacrilege. I need to update it. But I want to shout out to the last place I worked at, which was Sobremesa Afro Latino Cocktail Lounge in Oakland and Alomar Dominican Kitchen. Ooh. Those are both owned by Chef Nelson Herman of Top Chef Season 18.
Shout out to them and shout out to that. I just want to say, just for that journey alone, how has that been to start here, raised in a family of chefs, your background, the cuisine? How does it feel to have had this journey up to this point?
It's wild, honestly. You know, my family are all great. Everyone in my family are great cooks. You know, and my family are very working class. They're farmers and fishermen and cattlemen. And to come from that to get to this level is definitely a wild ride. And it's every day I'm kind of like, what is life?
What is life? Especially if you're not doing what you love.
There's definitely something to be said about waking up every day and getting to do what you actually enjoy doing, because most people don't get that luxury. And it is a luxury. And for people to say that it's not, it is. To wake up and, like, if you're a chef and you love cooking, if you're an accountant and you like numbers, waking up and being able to do that, not most people don't get to do that. We are a small percentage, and it's amazing.
Now, take me back. You were on Cutthroat Kitchen.
Yeah, yes, that was my beard had a little bit more color in it at the time.
What was that experience like? Because you obviously been seasoned up to this point, but going on Cutthroat Kitchen and being able to be the best version of yourself from something that is already in you, right? You were born into a family of chefs, but to be put on that platform in that environment, what was that like? Scary, exciting?
It was exciting. It was really fun. It was when they canceled Cutthroat Kitchen, I almost sent an angry letter.
Wow.
It was the best. Chopped is fun. Iron Chef America's fun, but there was nothing like Cutthroat Kitchen. It was a fun, like, let's sabotage each other. And it was interesting and it was fun. And it's like Alton Brown is just amazing.
Yes.
I'm still really good friends with actually everyone on that show. I just talked to Ashley just a couple days ago. So it's, it was an amazing event for myself.
What did you learn from Alton Brown? Because he is so witty. He is obviously knowledgeable. Like, what is the one thing that you could say, this is the thing that I learned from Alton Brown that I've taken with me on this journey?
There's so many things you can learn from Alton Brown, but the one thing I did take away from working with him for even one day was don't take things too seriously. It's off camera, we're setting up for the day, and he said he asked for he says, the chef who can make me a Bloody Mary, you win. We start shooting at 7 a.m. I don't think people realize this at home. When you see a cooking show, we don't start cooking at 4 or 5 p.m. We're cooking. We get at the studio at like 5 to 6 a.m. We're getting mic'd up. We're getting hair done. We're getting our chef coats on. And then we start cooking at like 7, 8 a.m. So it's early in the morning. And he's like, whoever makes me a Bloody Mary wins. And I was like, where's the vodka? I'll make one right now. Do you want vodka or tequila? And he kind of laughed. And then someone actually brought him over some tomato juice. And he holds it up. He goes, "What's wrong with this, chefs?" And no one said anything. So I'm like I'm in school. I'm like, right here. He's like, "Chef Miranda." I'm like, "It's glass." He goes, "Exactly." He takes out a pint. pint container, dumps it in. He goes, there's just something romantic and more elegant about drinking and eating out of pint cups. And then took a sip, and I was like, I love this guy. Like, this guy's he's a cook. He's a real, like, at heart, he is a line cook.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. That's dope. Because you see these images on television of these individuals, you feel like they can never dress down. And Alton Brown, he is the dude that, whether it's scientific, whether it's history, like, he knows it all, and he will break it down to the very last compound.
Absolutely. But at the same time, it's like, he's a normal guy. I wouldn't say normal. He's a little odd. But he's odd. He's odd in a good way, though. But he's just a regular Joe, you know, who enjoys the simple things in life, a greasy cheeseburger and fries, and, you know, a cold beer.
Take me into the kitchen, Chef Ronny. What are you listening to as you're creating, as you're getting into your zone? Is it R&B? Is it country? Is it hip hop? Is it funk? Is it rock?
A lot. Honestly, it's going to be a lot of, depending on the day, but it's going to be a lot of like 70s rock.
Okay.
A lot, you know, I like, you know, a lot of Led Zeppelin, a lot of Stones. Beatles will weave in there every once in a while, and then other days it's going to be, I think, the one of the greatest eras of music. Doesn't matter what you were listening to. It was the late 80s into like the mid 90s. Doesn't matter what you're listening to. Hip hop, rap, country, R&B. There was some funk in there too. You know, rock and roll. All of those. Like, I'll go into my 90s mix, which is just very, very eclectic.
Now, if you happen to be a rapper instead of a chef, what would your rap name be, Chef Ronny?
Well, then if that's gonna be the case, then I have to use a nickname that my last sous chef, shout out to Alex, gave me, which would be Ronzell.
Ronzell.
Ronzell. Ronzelle. Ronzell.
So you were Zelling before Zell was a thing.
Yes, exactly. No, he said it one day. I'm like, what is that? He's like, it's your name. I'm like, we're not going with this. He's like, no, that's your name now. And so he convinced the entire staff one night to call me Ronzell the whole night.
That's dope. I want to shout out Courtney, who nominated you for this particular venture.
Love Courtney.
And I want to talk about this quote here. I came here to claw my way out of the wreckage, to glue the broken bastard I used to be back into something resembling a man.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that. When you talk about broken, there are people, Chef Ronny, who during these times are going through things. Obviously, you have gone through something, and Courtney wanted to put you on a path back to where you were in terms of your trajectory of being great. What was that broke you? What was that shifted you?
I think it's called life. It wasn't one thing. It was, you know, years of abuse in the kitchen, some my own personal hardships I was going through, a breakup, lost family member. There was a lot that happened over the course of about 6 to 7 years, and I just stopped being me. You know, one day I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I realized that I didn't really recognize the person staring back anymore. And that kind of continued for quite some time, honestly. And then pandemic happened, and which that made things even harder. You know, being isolated all the time was made things very difficult. And there were so many little things that just kind of, like, it, you know, chips away. It's not always one big thing. People think that when you become depressed or you fall, you feel broken, it's like it's one major event. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you've gone through losing a family member, losing a job, losing a pet, and then all of a sudden one day they get your damn coffee order wrong. And that's the straw that broke your back.
That sends you right over the top.
Yeah, and for me, it was 25 little things. Well, a couple big things, and then a bunch of small things. I just stopped being myself. I stopped believing. I stopped believing in my career. I stopped believing in my abilities, and that's where I was at. And when I was asked to be on the show, it was definitely a moment of like, this was an opportunity to build myself back up brick by brick and try to literally, like I said, claw my way back to what I used to be.
And that was a great quote. I want to ask you, Chef Ronny, what did you lean on during that 6-year period? Was it faith? Did you fall out of love with cooking? Did you fall back in love with it? Was it a love-hate relationship? Was there you lost a person there? So who became your person? Like what helped you through those 6 years?
Well, I lost a family member who meant everything to me, and that really that took it out of me. And then I was just working for really bad chefs who were demeaning and would tell you daily how bad you were. I had a chef that, because I was really starting to get depressed and really just fall out of love of cooking, I was looking at quitting at this point. And this chef told me, if I'm so depressed about my career, then I should just end it. And she meant myself. And so that was the kind of environments I was in. And so I got out of those environments. Step one was getting out of those environments. That's what really helped. The first step is getting out of them. And then more recently, past couple years, I lost my cousin, who again meant the world to me. And at that point, it was kind of like, I was just before being cast on the show, I was really thinking about just quitting and doing literally anything else because of how things were going. And somehow the show, being told I was gonna be on the show, was like, okay, this is let's see how it goes.
Right.
I kind of went in, I didn't go into it like positive. I just kind of went into it like, okay, let's just see what happens. But being around the chefs, it sparked something in me again, something that I hadn't felt in a long time. And it feels like I'm back, almost like it's back here.
Right.
Working towards getting back. So it's been a journey, but it feels like I'm coming back.
We're meeting for the first time, and I tried to bait you on IG, and you hit me back, and I got to say, you're just an amazing human being for that, to be so personable. I am sorry for your loss. However, I am so glad that you went through that, to share that with those who are watching and listening. And I'm glad to see where you are right now. I'm getting goosebumps. Because to see you on this show, Chef Ronny, I don't know you very long, but I can tell you there's something in there, brother. And I'm looking towards what you have coming out and what you're doing. I want to talk about this quote from the wonderful Martha Stewart, where something happened and she was like, "Buck up, Chef Ronny." Buck
yeah,
up.
yeah.
How did it feel to hear that from Martha Stewart, of all people?
Well, I've heard it from about 40 other people now after she said it. It's become a thing where people are like, "You're a big, strong man. Buck up." Like, I hate all of you. She gets so much. But it was, I was in that was the team challenge, and I deserved to be chosen. We lost, and we went in as a team. We lost as a team. When Zane called me out, I was like, no, I deserve this. The team captain should, go down with the ship. I should fight for my right to be here. And they asked me, how are you feeling? I'm like, not the best. And that's also Martha Stewart just goes, you're a big, strong man. Buck up. And I was like, oh, shit. You know what? I should.
Let's go.
Wow. Okay. And, I said on the show, I said in the interview chair, which is like, when she tells you to buck up, also you're like, oh man, maybe I do have my life together. it definitely like lit a fire right that moment, where having Martha Stewart be like, buck up, you're a big, strong man. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I can do this. And I did. I pulled it off. I made a 16 ingredient soup in 30 minutes.
I don't even know what that tastes like. I'm vegan, plant-based, but I'm gonna figure it out. When you're done with this show, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna have a meal,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna enjoy it, whatever that looks like. You've been coined the professor. You've gone through the fire here. What's next for you, Chef Ronny?
Oof, that was a great question. When I have an answer, I will definitely give you one. Next question, next step for me is literally, I think it's just literally the next step is continuing down this path of reminding myself that I am good at what I do and I love what I do. I love food. If I wasn't a chef, I wouldn't be all that stuff. But I think the next step is just really honing in on my style and learning who I am again when it comes to my cuisine and what I want to cook and who I want people to see on a plate. That's the next step for me.
I love it. Chef Ronny, you're a star. You're a star.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you sharing your story. I don't know what's next, but I know great things are in order. And I look forward to following you on this path. Congratulations on this show. Where can we like you? Where can we follow you to see what's going on after Yes Chef?
On all my socials, I am Ron_the_cook on Instagram, TikTok, and then if you look up Ron the Cook on YouTube, I'm there as well.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chef Ronny Miranda. He is on Yes Chef on NBC, streams on Peacock. Please make sure you check it out. Please, we were able to vote for you. I will vote for you. But I know one thing. I'm going to see you at a restaurant somewhere soon. I'm going to have to travel to it. But if you're in New York, we are definitely going to connect. And I'm going to make sure I have my hat on next time. Ladies
Absolutely. My brother, sister-in-law, and nephew live in New York. Plus, you got Julia and Peter in New York. So I got to come to New York eventually.
You got to come to New York. Don't stop. Keep doing what you're doing. I love you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Chef Ronny Miranda. I am June Archer. This is the Winner Circle. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. Peace.
Thank you so much.